I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and you have a lot of Android choices on all the different carriers in the US, but there's some awesome high-end Android phones out there. One of those is the Samsung Galaxy S2 Skyrocket, available now on AT&T for $250. But then you have the Motorola DROID RAZR on Verizon. Both 4G LTE capable devices, both have dual-core processors, both have 8-megapixel cameras, but only one can win in the dogfight. Here you go, you got two awesome 4G LTE devices, one from AT&T and one from Verizon. You have the Samsung Galaxy S2 Skyrocket over here. It's available now from AT&T for $249.99, and then you have the Motorola DROID RAZR with Verizon. It's also available now for $299.99. Both of those are with new 2-year contracts. Before we get into the dogfight, special thanks to Best Buy Mobile for hooking us up with a bunch of phones for use in our one-paw bandit game. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you're going to walk out working. They're going to help you set up your email, your camera settings, help you get your contacts installed, and more. So when you walk out that door, you're good to go and you're working. You get the nice big display from the Epic 4G Touch and the T-Mobile version with 4.5 inches over here. You get a bigger battery, 1,850 milliamp hour battery over here, so you're not dealing with that smaller battery in the original international Galaxy S2. And then you get some cool things like a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon processor, 8-megapixel camera with 1080p HD video recording, and then you get a front-facing camera as well. This is also running Android 2.3.6 with TouchWiz 4.0, so the latest version of Samsung's custom user interface. Then you have the DROID RAZR over here, and this is packing a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core TI OMAP processor, so a little bit different on the processor side of things, but you've got an 8-megapixel camera over here as well with 1080p HD video recording. Now you get a really thin device over here. This is 7.1 millimeters thin, and as a result, rather, you get a non-removable 1,780 milliamp hour battery. So you can't remove the battery, but it does continue along that iconic RAZR name by making it, well, pun intended, razor thin. So over here you can see you got your power button, your volume rocker, your micro USB charging port, your HDMI port, and then you got your slot over here for a micro SD card and a micro SIM card slot as well. In the Skyrocket, you have your volume rocker on the left side, you got your power button over here on the right side, your camera on the back, you got your 3.5mm headphone jack up top, and your micro USB charging port on the bottom. Now obviously in terms of design, these are going to appeal to two different people, although they're both kind of, plasticky. I mean, there's not really one that exudes any more of a metal finish than the other. What I will say about the Motorola DROID RAZR is not only is it thin, it's a little awkward to hold in the hand at times because it is a little bit wide. You're getting a 4.3-inch Super AMOLED Advanced display over here with PenTile technology, so it's a nice display over here. Super AMOLED Plus on a 4.5-inch display. So, this one does that. That said, this one does have some nice build quality features that make it a little bit better. You do get Gorilla Glass on the Motorola DROID RAZR on the front, and you get a Kevlar coating on the back. So this thing is intended to be chewed on. I mean, I can't really speak for Motorola, but I think you could get your toddler to chew on this, maybe your dog to kind of nibble on it. It's probably going to take that beating and be okay, so because of the Kevlar and because of the Gorilla Glass. Now over here, a little bit plasticky. You don't get, the battery door is just a typical plastic kind of glossy battery door, but over here you get Android 2.3 as well with Motorola's custom user interface. So let's take a look at both of these, and we'll go at them side by side here and take a look at what comes pre-installed. So you can see they both swipe side to side, although Motorola's user interface is a little bit different than Samsung's. And you can see TouchWiz 4.0, and this is something I want to point out. If you haven't worked with 4.0, you're used to maybe the Droid Charge, or you're coming from AT&T on the Infuse, it's a significantly improved experience over on the Galaxy S2 series. I mean, fantastic performance, much faster, no lag, and out of the box you get AllShare, Amazon Kindle, AT&T Code Scanner, AT&T Family Map, AT&T Navigator featured apps. You get, what else? Keyzair, Kaizair, Live TV, IM, AT&T Messages I've pre-installed. Then you get Media Hub, which is a Samsung application, MOG Music, Movies, My AT&T, Need for Speed Shift, Quick Light, Quick Office, Social Hub, which is also Samsung, and then you get Visual Voicemail and YP Mobile. Now the good thing is the AT&T stuff can be uninstalled, which is a nice little perk. AT&T's really listened to their consumers and said, well, you don't want My AT&T, you don't want AT&T Navigator, fine, we can uninstall that, and it's not a huge issue. So that's pretty cool there. Now over on the Verizon side, you do get some Verizon bloatware. Unfortunately, it's not uninstallable or not able to be uninstalled. Verizon does kind of lock that down on the device in partnership with Motorola. So you can see Amazon Kindle over here, Blockbuster, you get device setup, you get GoToMeeting out of the box, you get guided tours, IM, Let's Golf 2, Madden NFL 12, Moto Active, Moto Print, which are obviously both Motorola applications, My Verizon Mobile, you get Netflix, NFL Mobile, quick office, and actually you can see all these by going to Verizon, though it's kind of a misnomer because it lists stuff like VCast videos, or Verizon Video, VCast Tones, Visual Voicemail, and VZ Navigator, but it doesn't show all of the games, which are also kind of bloatware, you know, Let's Golf 2, Madden, NFL 12, and things like that. But you do get a lot of stuff pre-installed on this device out of the box, and like I said, you know, none of it is able to be uninstalled, although I was just playing with the Zyboard earlier, and it is cool because you can uninstall the game. So hopefully maybe in some sort of a software update they'll enable that where you can uninstall at least Let's Golf 2 or Madden, NFL, things like that. So but as of right now, to my knowledge, you still can't. Okay, you can. I take that back. You can uninstall these, so that's a nice little perk. You can uninstall those, which is more than you could do with previous Verizon devices, but you get done in here with My Verizon Mobile, you can uninstall some of the updates, but you get into some of this stuff and you're not going to be able to uninstall it. You know, you get into uninstall the updates, again, not able to uninstall the full application, and then we'll go into all here so you can take a look at some of the Verizon stuff as well, like Verizon Video. Unfortunately, it's on the device, and it's on the device to stay. So we can go down here just because I want to show you, and we'll go down to Verizon, TUV. Okay, make sure I was right. Verizon Video. You can't uninstall it. So there's some of the Verizon stuff can't be uninstalled. At least the games can be uninstalled now, though, which is a huge perk. So let's jump right into these and take a look at some of the differences. First of all, TouchWiz 4.0 over here. Much improved over 3.0. And you can see some really nice improvements, particularly when you go into some of the menus. Like you go into this one, you press and hold on the home screen, which you get 7 of, by the way, on the Skyrocket. And you can see widgets, folders, shortcuts, and wallpapers, which looks a little bit different than it does on the Motorola platform. So you can see over here widgets, bunch of new widgets, and the actual organization is a little bit different. You can just see these cool little features, like when I swipe back and forth, you can see that it moves from left to right, like that. So it moves left, right, back and forth like that, and you get some nice widgets out of the box. You get AccuWeather, you get AP Mobile, Application Monitor, Bookmark Buddies now, so you can see some stuff, Classic Clock, Simple Clock, new agenda widgets, and more. So you can see over here, for example, I have the weather widget. What I like about TouchWiz is that you can customize the widget size. So if you want to make it a little bit smaller, you want to make it like that, maybe you want to make it like that, you can do it. And that's really great for one of those home screens. You have some tight space, you know, you have a little bit of space left to add something like right here, but you don't have, you know, a widget that's that size. Well, you can customize most of the TouchWiz widgets to fit right in there. Now, on the Motorola side, you can do that as well. You get 5 home screens over here, and you can see they kind of rotate in and out in a kind of carousel-like theme, kind of like HTC Sense 3 and 3.5, but you do get 5 as opposed to the typical 7 that come with Android. So you can see widgets, shortcuts, folders, and wallpapers over here. We'll take a look at the widgets, and they've all been organized into one folder now. So your Motorola and your stock Google widgets have been organized together. But we'll take a look at calendar, for example, and we can hit done. And you can see it pops up on the screen right there, and I can move it around and customize it as well within some certain parameters. So you can do that on Motorola as well, at least to the Motorola UI-based widgets, not to the stock Google ones. But that's a nice improvement on both of these devices over something like HTC Sense, which doesn't have that ability to do, you know, on HTC Sense 3 or 3.5. So big perk there, and like I said, you get 5 home screens here, 7 over here. So you can see the notification bar just to see what they look like and some of the differences. You get some shortcuts up here, and just in case you're watching the video and you're noticing that the wireless indicator on the Skyrocket's going nuts, AT&T is having some LTE network issues, it seems like, in my area. They haven't confirmed them just yet, but you know, both the Vivid, the Skyrocket, and the Nitro HD are all experiencing some connectivity issues, so you're going to see it flip around. But you know, the show had to go on. This video's got to be done today, so unfortunately we got to roll with it. But you can take a look at that. When we get into the speed test portion, I'll show you what some of the speed tests look like so you can get an idea of what a normal LTE day is on AT&T. But here's the notification bars. You can see Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, flight mode, and screen rotation shortcuts. Over here, you get just the Verizon Wireless. But the benefit is if you do have a couple of different notifications on the screen, the cool part about the Droid RAZR, you can individually cancel those out as opposed to just hitting clear over here and being done with it. So that's a nice little perk on the Motorola side. So to show you text messaging, and it's going to be pretty similar on both of these devices, but you'll see the interface differences here between Samsung and Motorola, and you get a little bit of a bigger display over here. You get 4.5 inches as opposed to 4.3 inches. And one thing I've really noticed about the RAZR, the more that I've used it, there's a lot of screen real estate on this, or a lot of just dead space on the side, a lot of plastic that's just really not being utilized. So we'll jump down here and take a look, and you can see because this is a Super AMOLED display, you can see Motorola's changed the keyboard around to be dark to kind of conserve battery life as opposed to those lighter colors you remember from the Droid Bionic and some of the other recent Motorola handsets. But you can see here just a lot of plastic around the sides, which, you know, it's not really a huge deal, but when you do use this device on a regular basis, you immediately notice and you're like, that could have been put to use as maybe a larger display, or you know, maybe enlarging the display or something like that. So you can see here Samsung's interface, 4.5 inches, you get 3 keyboards over here. You get Samsung's keypad, Android keyboard, so the stock gingerbread version, and swipe out of the box over here. And over here you get multi-touch, which is Motorola's stock keyboard, and then swipe as well. I love Motorola's multi-touch keyboard. If you watch my videos, you know that Android's keyboard is not as bad. Don't care for Samsung's personally, but hey, take a look at them for yourself, see which one you like, and there are always alternatives in the Android market you can download as well. So we'll say the busy rumor dog is happy that it is Tuesday. Happy that it's Tuesday. And you can see portrait and then landscape mode as well. 4.5 inches, very, very easy to type on. You got your capacitive buttons down here, obviously, and 3 different keyboard choices. So if you do prefer Samsung or you prefer swipe, you've got some options over there. Love Motorola's multi-touch keyboard, so we'll say the busy rumor dog is ready for the day to be over. He is hungry. Over. He is hungry. Over. Sometimes I feel like the rumor dog might be me, because I am a little hungry right now. He is hungry. 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 There we go. The busy rumor dog is ready for the day to be over. He's hungry. And same thing here, you know, 4.3 inch display. Going to be pretty easy to type on in portrait or in landscape. I really like Motorola's multi-touch keyboard, like I've said. And you get your capacitive buttons down here as well. So just to show you the differences, lining them up side by side. Motorola's multi-touch, definitely the best keyboard in my opinion on an Android device. That said, Skyrocket, bigger display is a huge pro over here, and having that extra screen real estate really comes in handy when you're typing on a regular basis.